They said the drums had stopped beating long ago, but not nights. I heard them. It was Christmas Eve in our village, a white night. The air was thick with the smell of roasting yams and goat skin drums tucked away in silence. My mother had warned me never to wander past the old bamboo tree at night, especially during holy celebration. But something called me soft, low, and rhythmic. I was returning from fetching water when I heard it. The sound was faint at first, like distant thunder, then louder, steady, hypnotic, my legs frozen on the date parts. I started into darkness, where the tree's shadow loomed. The drumbeat was coming from beyond it. Who is drumming? I whispered to no one. The village elders had burned the sacred drums years ago, after the days of old Manja, the drummer who played for spirits. No one had dared make music with that saints. I tried to ignore it and keep walking home, but my feet betrayed me. They turned toward the sound, toward the bamboo tree and the bush beyond. I didn't want to go. My heart raced as I stepped closer, the drumbeat pulling me like a rope. The Christmas star glowed bright above, but the path under my feet grew darker with every step. My breath came shallow as I passed the tree, entering the bush. Then I saw them, figures, dozens of them, moving in a circle around a fire. Their shadow flickered widely in the flames, and their bodies swayed like wraiths in the wind. I stood behind a thick shrub, peeing out with my heart pounding so hard I thought they would hear it. The drumming came from the center of the circle, where an old man sat cross legs, his hands pounding the skin of a drum I would never seen before. His head was wrapped in white clothes, and his eyes, they didn't blink. They stared straight ahead, as if he was looking beyond the living world. I wanted to run, but my feet refused to obey. Instead, I was trembling. Then I recognized one of the figures. It was my uncle, Ajo. He had died 3 years ago. I gasped and slapped a hand over my mouth. Uncle Ajo, dressed in the same tunic we buried him, was dancing like a young man. His face was bright with joy, his eyes reflecting the firelight. And then I saw more faces. I knew Auntie Olu, cousin Femi, Baba Zubair. All of them were dead, every single one. I stumbled back, snapping a sweat under my heel. The sound was small, but the drumming stopped instantly. The dancers froze, their head turned as one toward the bush where I hid. Who is there? A deep voice called. It wasn't angry, but it made my skin crawl. I couldn't answer. My mouth felt suffered with cotton. The old man with the drum grew slowly. Impossible tall, he pointed a bony finger at me, and the other stepped aside, leaving a path between us and the fire. Come, he said. His voice was not harsh, but it carried the weight of a command. I shook my head, my legs shaking. Badly, I thought I would collapse. Come, he said again. Do not fear. You are welcome here tonight. Side of living. His word shivered me. Side of living? I don't know what possessed me to step out. I walked into the circle, trembling, tears streaming down my face. The fife was warm, but I felt cold all over. The old man smiled, his teeth impossibly white in the firelight. But you know what tonight is? Christmas Eve. I stammered. Yes, he said, and it is the night the veil, its thinnest, will celebrate too, just as you do. I stared at him, confused. But you are all dead. The dancers laughed softly, like the rustling of dry leaves. Child, the old man said, his voice kind now. Life does not end. It only changes. I wanted to scream, to run, but my feet straight planted. The drummers began again, softer now, and the dancer moved slowly, as if the song was only for me. Then, one by one, they came to me. A spirit touched my shoulder, smiled, and whispered my name. They spoke blessings, peace, joy, perfection. But their touch was cold, like morning dew. Uncle Ajo was last. He knelt before me, his eyes kind. Tell your mother I am at peace, he said, and tell her to trust the light of the Savior. Even we celebrate his birth, for his gift is for all. Before I could answer, the fire flared bright, and the drumming stopped. I blinked again against the light, and when I opened my eyes, the sharing was empty. The fire, the spirit, the drum, all gone. I ran home, heart pounding, and collapsed into my mother's arms. I told her everything. She listened quietly, her face pale. When I finished, she held me close and whispered, they came to remind us, even in death, we are not forgotten. That Christmas, the drums didn't frighten me anymore. Instead, they reminded me of the gift of life and the promise of what comes after.